Hi, everybody.
We're so awkward.
We're so awkward.
We're so awkward.
But, okay, we know that it's important to carry on the conversation after Bible study ends. And so that's what these videos are going to be about. They will be a little lengthier. So you can sit down and watch the whole thing. You can watch it in pieces. You can not watch it at all. It's totally fine. But we do want this space and this page to be a benefit. And so we think that it will be helpful to recap every week, and not real sure if it's going to be a video every week, but when we do one, it will be longer. So, okay, you know that. All right, so last night, for those of you that weren't there, will never be able to come, or whatever, you're there every week, I feel like it's just important to just go back to those questions at the table and talk about a little bit longer about what you and I have been talking about, that people have said to us or brought up to us since we met. And I don't know, just kind of throw the whole thing back out there. Is that fair?
That sounds fun.
That sounds fun. Friendship is fun.
Friendship is fun. Except when it's not.
Except for when it's hard.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Friendship is hard. So we hope this will be a blessing to you. Okay. So last night's title, I believe, was just showing up. Mm-hmm. Show up. How do we show up for each other? Because that's real easy to say, but it's another thing to literally show up for you. And that's what we want to learn this week through these questions and through the study, because Jesus was our model. Jesus is our model with the disciples and how he showed up for that crazy group. How he faithfully showed up for them, how we talked about last night, how he prayed for them. He prayed for them, I believe it was in John chapter 17, verse 12, where he talked about guarding them. He guarded his people. He kept them safe. And we have to receive that from him, but we can also pray that for other people. That's one way of showing up. So we talked a lot about this last night. We're just going to go through these questions real quick and just kind of hash those back out between the two of us and let them listen.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So the first, are you okay?
I love videos.
We're sweating.
They make me sick.
It's so hot out here too. Okay, so first section, believe what God says about friendship. And the first question was, do you think it's difficult to make lasting friendships?
Yes.
It's very
I do.
difficult. And I think it depends on it depends on your age. Mm-hmm. It depends on your personality and just how God made you to be.
And your season of life.
Your season of life that you're in, whether you work or don't work, you have kids, you don't have kids, you're a young adult, not married, just all of that. All that matters and plays into this. Is it hard to make lasting friendships? And so it is. I think something that's come up from different people is just, I don't have people.
It's hard.
I truly do not have people. Mm-hmm. And we just said there was a time when maybe I had people, but they weren't people that I would have gone there with.
Right. But
then you've also got people that are just blowing and going and doing life, but they don't have people that they would.
I promise I'm not doing this to get out of the video. Fran thinks I'm trying to get out of the video. I don't know. Sorry.
So, there's people that we don't have people. We need people, but
Right.
we don't have them.
Well, and I think what I've learned, if anything, about friendship is what really does start with our friendship with Jesus.
Absolutely.
Like we talked about all night last night.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before. I don't even know how many years. Less than 10, more than 5. We've known each other 5 years. I realized I did not have this kind of friendship.
Yeah.
That I have now.
The friendship that we are created
Yes.
in community to have.
Yes, and from the outside looking in, people would have laughed if I said, I feel like I'm all alone.
Yeah.
I didn't look alone, but I didn't have that soul connection with friends who would come alongside me, pray over me, the way that we all do for each other now.
Yeah.
So if that is you, pray for that.
Yeah.
I prayed for that. And
Yeah.
I can remember praying for it thinking this will never happen, but I'm just kind of lonely and pitiful and
Right.
prayed for it. And I was looking around that barn last night thinking, oh my goodness gracious, how has God answered that prayer through so many Jesus loving girlfriends? And the one thing we all have in common is our pursuit and passion for, I want to know him better. I want to be in the Word. I receive Jesus' love for me and spill that out onto other people.
Yeah. And I think that, I think when we start moving more towards Jesus, instead of trying to find the friends,
Yes.
like, let's pursue him. Let's make sure that we're pursuing him first. Matthew 6:33, seek me first and the kingdom of God, and then he'll add everything else. And so as much as we're talking about friendship, let's not put friendship above him.
That's right.
And so just to be in pursuit of him, because only how God can do, he's going to start taking care of everything else. And I believe that to be true. You've experienced that.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
It's real.
So it is difficult, but we're going to keep him first. We're going to keep showing up for each other at Bible study. We're going to keep after Jesus. Okay. My phone is recording. Your phone is sitting right there. But James 3:18, the next thing we talked about last night in the message says something along the lines, we're going to come to the official version after she stops coughing.
I do not know what's wrong.
But
I've not done this all day. Okay, what was it, James?
James 3:18 in the message, it says something along the lines of Jesus came. We tend to know it as Jesus came and he lived among us, he dwelt among us. The message version says he basically came in and moved in the neighborhood. And when we begin to think about
I'm so sorry. I have ruined the video. Okay.
Jesus moved into the neighborhood, is that right?
I'm dying over here. No, that's John 1:14.
Oh,
Is move in the
oh,
neighborhood.
just kidding. So sorry. I have no idea what this says.
Because we have each other and our Bibles.
Yes.
We can
Yes.
tell you what
does
it really
say?
says. This is why we don't count on our friends. We
Yeah.
count on the Word of God.
That's right. You can develop a healthy, robust community that lives right with God and enjoy its results only if you do the hard work of getting along with each other, treating each other with dignity and honor. I mean, that's what so much of this is about seeking him and how can I show up for you,
Yeah.
and not what's in it for me. How can I show up for Angela? What can I do to be a better friend for her? And that is just a shift, because it takes hard work to serve you.
Right. And it's easy to get offended. I had a teacher years ago say, I will fail you. Like, just straight up, first week of class. She said, I'll fail you. Just expect it.
And that's why Jesus has to be first.
Right.
First priority, because he's never going to.
Ever.
He's never going to. But you will disappoint me and I will disappoint you over and over and over again. But if we're right with the Lord, I'm going to grace you and forgive you, and it's going to be okay.
And not be offended
Not
forever.
be offended.
and
That's
break
right.
up.
That's right. We're going to show up for each other, and I'm going to pat her on the
Need a
back
cough drop.
and show up for her as she hacks and coughs.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
The next thing I want to share with y'all, if you have not heard me talk about this section, if you were in Bible study Tuesday night, was about being interrupted. I have a great story about this that I'm going to take just a minute to share with you all, because I think you'll get it. And it has marked me, and I will remember it forever and ever. So for those of you all that don't know, I work at Union, and our president is Dr. Dub Oliver. And we all love him because he's so approachable, and he's not intimidating, he's not scary, he's very relational and personable. And so a couple of years ago, it's been a year and a half, it was March, I remember that, I got to work early and I've told you this, right?
I love this story.
I got to work early, and I needed to talk to him about somebody. I needed guidance, and I needed wisdom, and I needed advice about something. And so I just hightailed it up to his office at like 7:45, 7:30 one morning. And so I go into his like a library area, and I knew he was here because I saw his car was here. And so I stuck my head in and I said, "Dr. Dub." And I'm interrupting him. And he comes out of his office where he works, and his desk is messy and all of that. And he comes out and he says, "Well, hi, Fran. Good morning. What's going on?" And I said, "Dr. Dub, I need to talk to you about something." And he said, "Okay, absolutely. Come in, have a seat." He has a table that is by design, clear of anything. It's not at his desk. It doesn't make you feel like you're interrupting him. And so we sit at this desk that says, "You're welcome here. I have time for you. I'm making space for you." And so we sit down, he's there, I'm here, and we just talk. He never once says, "Listen, I've got a meeting in 20 minutes, but you've got my full attention for 20 minutes. We just sit and talk. And then he prays for me in this situation. And then as I'm exiting, he's behind me. I look over my shoulder and I say, "Dr. Dub, thank you so much for making time for me. I know that you are so very busy." We all are. "Thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for praying for me. I'm sorry that I took so much of your time, but thank you." And he looked at me and he said, "Fran, what you think you have taken from me through this thing called time, the Lord will redeem that, because this matters. This
So good.
matters." Y'all, I have no idea. He could have been bearing real weight and crisis and going into a very important meeting. I have no idea. But he never led on that I've got somewhere to be. You need to hurry up. He gave me time. Y'all, this is what friendship is about. We have to make time, but we also have to be willing to let people interrupt us. Because you heard me say this in Bible study, that all God left us with is our relationship with him and each other.
That's it.
That's all he left us with. He entrusted us with humanity, which is the greatest thing, the scariest thing. But y'all, this is what we're made for. We said that we, being image bearers, being made in his image, that we are made to be in community, because God himself is community. God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We're wired for this, but yet we fight it all day long because we said, "I'm busy and I'm fine." That's not allowed anymore in our community.
They're bad words.
They're bad words.
Done.
Dr. Dub could have easily said, "I'm busy, but I'll give you 15 minutes."
Or make an appointment. and
Or
come
make
back.
an appointment. "Listen, can you come back later?" Like
That would have killed it.
it would have killed it. And I learned that only God will redeem something called time that we feel like we're losing when people interrupt us. Because I've got an agenda and I've got things to do, and you are not on my calendar for the day. But only God can manipulate and move things around to where he makes room for this. We are honoring him when we make room for each other. Okay.
And Jesus did that.
Jesus did it
was
over
interrupted constantly.
and over and over. And he was Jesus. He had people around him all the time. And the woman that bled for 12 solid years just wants to touch his garment. And she should have never been out in public because of culture and because of her condition. She should have never done it, but she was willing to take the risk to go touch his garment. And all those people were around, and he turned around and made time for her and healed her. So how dare us not make time for one another?
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Be willing to be interrupted. Be willing